So, I just got to watch the first episode of The Ones Who Live, the brand new Walking Dead spin-off, which follows Rick Grimes and Michonne, two characters who had been written off of the main Walking Dead show before it ended, and we haven't seen in quite a little bit. Now, I am a huge fan of The Walking Dead. I might be one of the few people left that can say that they are a huge fan of The Walking Dead. I have watched all 11 seasons, I've watched all the spin-off shows, and unlike a lot of people, I've really loved just about every single second of it, even the weak seasons. And this has been a show that I have been looking forward to for a very long time, and it was one of my more anticipated TV shows of the year. So for those of you who are not aware, do not follow The Walking Dead, or have been loosely following it, so back in 2019, I believe, they wrote Rick Grimes off of The Walking Dead. They did some weird storyline where he blew up a bridge, he got hurt, and he got carried into this mysterious helicopter and flown away. And we had never seen him after that, and we had no idea where he went, what he had been up to, or whatever. This mysterious three-ringed group pretty much just swooped him up and removed him from the TV show, till today. And for years and years and years, there was speculation on what AMC planned to do with this storyline. Obviously, they were going to continue the Rick storyline eventually, which became even more clear when they also wrote Michonne off of the main show when she went to go look for Rick. There were rumors that there was going to be a trilogy of movies, actually an announcement that there was going to be a trilogy of movies. Then that kind of went dead for a while. Then they had this weird spin-off show, The World Beyond, which was kind of connecting to the group that took Rick, and there were rumors that he might show up there. He didn't, so then they were just waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally they announced they were doing a show, and it's finally here. We have this 6-episode mini-series, or it might have a season 2 eventually, we don't know for sure yet, but at least a 6-episode season 1 of this brand new show, which is going to tell us where Rick is, where Michonne is, and what's been going on. And after watching episode 1, I could say, with all my heart, that this is the best episode of The Walking Dead we have gotten in maybe a decade. This was insane. This was so good. I watched the episode back-to-back, 2 times back-to-back. I haven't done that since like season 4, season 5 of the regular show. It blew my fucking mind. So The Ones Who Live had a very, very tough job. They had to explain where Rick had been throughout all these years. And I'm not talking about real life years. I'm not talking about the 5 years it's been since he's actually appeared on an episode of The Walking Dead besides the finale, which had like a little tease of him. But in the Walking Dead universe, Rick has been gone for like 8 or 9 years at this point. He's really been gone for a long time, and so is Michonne. So you have to make a very, very good explanation and come up with a very good reason to explain why he had been trapped for all this time, why he had never escaped, why he had been stopped from getting home, and why it's taken Michonne so long to find him. These are very, very, very complex questions that they needed to answer, and things that they had to explain. Things that probably don't and shouldn't make sense story-wise, because the main reason it's taken him this long is because they couldn't figure out for years when they were going to bring Rick back in the show. So that's the main reason it took this long. But now they have to find a story reason to explain where Rick has been and why he hasn't come back yet, which is why I was just so worried that the show is going to be so over-convoluted and end up making no sense. But man, was I wrong. This show makes so much sense. The explanation they give for where Rick is, where he had been, and what's been going on, it makes so much sense. It's actually kind of like the only thing they could have done when you really think about it, but it's so smart, it's so well thought out, and it explains the entire 8 years or 9 years or however long it's been that he's been gone, and it makes me feel so satisfied that it actually works. So essentially, Rick's been stuck at this place called the CRM, or the Civic Republic, and he's been held hostage by this Civic Republic military, and he's not living like a slave. He's not living terribly. He lives pretty comfortably. He has to do some work for them, but life there is really not terrible. The only issue is he's not allowed to leave. They force him to stay there because they want to keep the secrecy of who they are. But Rick tries to escape over and over and over, and he just keeps on failing. He eventually joins the CRM, the Civic Republic military, in hopes that he could become, or in hopes of some of the other characters that have for him, that he could become this great leader in the Civic Republic and change it from the inside. And on this journey of him joining the army, which his reasons for joining the army is just to find another way to escape. That's how he enters in. But many of the characters he meets on this journey are so strong, and I cannot wait to see more of them. Some of them went way too soon, and it was kind of disappointing. But like figuring out the ins and outs of the CRM, figuring out the leader, Major Beale, who's played by Terry O'Quinn from Lost, and he's so good in the one scene he's in. Like all of the ins and outs, there's obviously a corruption scheme and some evil, kind of story that's definitely going to be developing with this group. But seeing how, like, at the end of the day, they're really not that bad to Rick in general, and he's just... The worst part is that they won't let him leave, and it becomes this kind of psychological tether that he's connected to the Civic Republic and he cannot get away from them. Even when he's in a position where it's like, all right, now I probably could get away from them, he's given another reason of like, you might not want to try, because even if you're successful, there are going to be consequences to your success. And it just kind of, it becomes a psychological study. It almost becomes like a Stockholm Syndrome type thing where he's essentially being held hostage and he just kind of conforms to the beliefs of why he's being held hostage. And it's done so well, and Andrew Lincoln kicks so much ass in this role. There is one scene, and it's arguably the best performed scene Andrew Lincoln has had as this character. It's one of the best scenes in the Walking Dead universe, and it is unbelievably good. This show is just beautiful, man. And this episode takes place over the course of like 4 or 5 years. It had so much it had to get across, both in kind of complex exposition that it needed delivered to the audience and needed the audience to understand the world that Rick is currently living in, the circumstances that he's currently living in, but not have it just feel like we were being kind of spoon-fed information over and over and over for an hour. Like, they did it in a way that actually works well for exposition. They didn't overly bombard you with information. There's a density of information here. You learn a lot about the Civic Republic. You learn a lot about Rick's journey over the last few years, but they leave a lot of room for discovery, for mysteries about this group going forward. We don't understand everything about the CRM. We don't understand everything about where Michonne is and how these groups kind of connect to each other in a head-to-head way. We don't completely understand what Rick's role is going to be and why he's going to continue with the CRM going forward. We don't understand any of that yet, but at the same time, we learn so much more than we knew before this episode, and that's why it's brilliant, and it's so satisfying. I mean, you gotta think about this. I've been waiting 5 years for this show. I've been waiting 5 years for answers when it comes to where Rick Grimes is. Where is he? 5 years I've been waiting. And somehow they lived up to the expectations I had built in my mind for this story. It is satisfying. It is so deep. It is so amazing performance-wise. The show looks the best of any Walking Dead show cinematically. The show is just beautifully shot. The music is fire. The intro sequence is amazing. This first episode was just absurdly perfect in every way, shape, or form. It is what I've wanted The Walking Dead to be for so long, and it is the first time in years that I have said, my God, this might be the best show on TV right now. And I'm so excited to see where they go with this. I don't want to spoil any of the big moments that happen in the episode, but obviously, if you've seen it, there's a very big moment that ends the episode. At the end of this episode, a final moment that is just so amazing. Like, I don't know how much I could talk about it without spoiling it, but it's just so beautiful and so amazing. And I need episode 2, and I know, and it's the worst part about the show, apparently episode 2 is completely leaked online. Episode 3 and 4 might have also leaked online. I'm staying away. I'm going to watch this show in the order and the time that it was meant to be watched. I will stick to the week-to-week basis. I don't know if I'm going to do weekly reviews for this. I guess it depends on if the quality stays the same, then I will keep doing week-to-week reviews. But man, oh man, I'm excited for next Sunday. I'm excited for the Sunday after that. This is going to be amazing. And this is just the start. Like, seeing Rick return and interact with all of these characters we haven't seen him interact with in years. Him and Negan, him and Daryl, him and Carol, him and Maggie. All these characters, and these are moments that we're probably not going to see in this show, but we're going to see down the line in either other spin-offs or a season 2. These are moments that I'm just so fucking excited to see, man. They've built such a cool sort of scenario here with this character that just lends itself to so many future satisfying moments. And as a big Walking Dead fan who has stuck around for years and years, I feel like this show and this moment was built for me. It was built as a reward and a thank you for sticking with AMC and for sticking with Scott Gimple through all of the pain and the misery of some of those seasons. Now we're being rewarded. We're being rewarded with beautiful Walking Dead content and all the satisfying stuff that we wanted. And it's beautiful. I love it. There is one character I think is going to show up in this show. He doesn't show up in episode 1, so I'm not spoiling anything unless you thought he was going to show up in episode 1. Sorry, but I do think Morgan's going to show up. Can't fucking wait to see that shit. But he got teased at the end of Fear the Walking Dead, and I don't think that tease is going to happen unless he's appearing in this show. And I cannot wait. Oh my God, I'm just so excited, man. It's The Walking Dead, man. I know everybody's going to be like, The Walking Dead sucks ass. It hasn't been good in like 10 years. Kiss my ass. Like, go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit about your opinion. Your opinion's fine. It's right. Everybody's opinion is right. But I don't like your opinion. It sucks. The Walking Dead's amazing. Even the shitty season. Season 8, yeah, it's pretty bad. But I love it. I love it. Come on. Yeah, that's the video. I just wanted to jump on here and talk about The Walking Dead. So, yeah, there it is. Go watch The Ones Who Live. If you haven't watched The Walking Dead in years, fuck it, go watch The Ones Who Live. You'll probably find something to enjoy about it. It feels like classic, amazing Walking Dead. If you've never watched The Walking Dead before, then I don't know why you're still watching the video at the 11-minute mark or the 10-minute mark, whatever we're at. But thanks, I guess. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please click the video on the screen right now. Make sure to subscribe because I upload every single day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.